and I'm so happy you guys could join us. So let's just give people a few moments. Hey everyone, it's Devon from the Maniology team with our weekly live every Tuesday at 1:30 p.m. Hawaii Standard. You can find us here on another nail stamping journey. Whether it's a tutorial, a technique, or hack, we're here to discuss all the details and so happy that you could join us. So thank you so much for joining us, everyone. Okay, so I think maybe last week or the week before, we had some people who were asking, what is the difference between our base coats? When do you use them? All the good stuff that everybody wants to know. So we're so finally excited that we can actually talk to you about this. These are definitely our must-have nail stamping art items. So this is episode 2 in must-have nail stamping art items. So let's get straight into it. I'm going to explain the purposes of these, when to use them, how to use them, why you might want to use one over the other. So first, let's start with introducing what these 4 bases are. So we have our calcium-rich base coat. Sorry if I'm all oily, it's because I just cuticle oiled up. So, I don't want you to have to stare at any ugly dry cuticles through the entire live, but you might see a little oil all over the place. So the first one is our calcium-rich base coat. This has vitamins and calcium and other nutrients inside to help strengthen your nails. So if you have weak or brittle nails, this is going to be your best friend. Our next one is our concealing base coat. So it has a pinkish purplish tint, and these 2 colors in particular are great for all skin tones. It doesn't matter whether you're purple, green, orange. These base coats will look great on all skin tones. I will explain a little bit more about some of the other fun features of this. This is our brightening base coat. And as you can see, it's kind of got a beige tone. And then this is our sticky base coat. This has many different uses. I will be demonstrating to you a little bit later of all the different things that we can do with it. So let's get right into this of when we should use, when we should use what items. So I already swatched this on a nail tip for you. And it's going to be very hard to see because our calcium-rich base coat is clear. Even though it looks milky, it's actually clear. And I will show you. So if you're wondering what's this little bluish white thing I have, it's just a sticky tab, like a little adhesive. So as you can see, this base coat is completely clear. This is a great base coat if you have weak, thin, damaged, brittle nails. I actually have tried this on my natural nails. I think I did it for like a month straight where I kind of always used it and then I frequently applied it. So if your nails are going through some rough patches, maybe they're weak, maybe it's winter time, maybe it's fall, it's brittle, your nails get, kind of dry, this base coat will help repair your nails. You are going to you need to use this consistently in order for it to give your nails those health benefits that we are chasing after. So when I tried it, this was a few years ago, I wore this for like a month and I reapplied every couple of days. And something I noticed that happened with it was that my nails got a lot stronger and a lot harder. Again, I did have to reapply this consistently in order for me to see the result. So I think about, yeah, I'd want to say like every 3 days, I took off the old base coat and applied a new layer of base coat. And it was amazing to see the results, how strong my nails were, how happy and healthy my nails were. So again, whoops. This is definitely a great solution for those of you who are struggling with weak, brittle nails. Also, if you don't struggle with weak and brittle nails, but you just need a base coat, this is a great base coat. And if you're wondering, why do I need to put a base coat on my nails? Why can't I just apply polish? Think of it as like a makeup primer. Usually people put makeup primer on so that way they have something for their foundation to hold on to. It's the same with our base coats. It's important to have different base coats and have base coats on your nails before you apply your favorite color polish, etc., because you're basically giving something for the nail polish to adhere to. If you don't have base coat on your nails, the chances of the polish lasting on your nails is much, much shorter. And for those of you who have tried applying polish without any base coat, you'll notice that your nails chip a lot more frequently than others. So it really just depends. Now, in terms of like dry time and stickiness, I have found that this base coat is pretty quick drying as long as you're only applying a very thin coat, which again, you don't need much of this. You can probably do one hand, go to the other hand, and for example, if you're doing 2 coats, which is not necessary, by the time you finished your opposite hand, this hand should be dry. Again, application and the temperature around you obviously has an effect on all of that, but in short, this is a great go-to base coat if you cannot have any other base coats and you are just looking for something to help strengthen your nails. This is a great, great, great way to do that. So, Erin's asking, can we use polish and dip and gel together? No, you cannot. It's not recommended to ever mix products. There are a few exceptions to this, which I won't get into this about. That will be for another time. But in general, you cannot use regular polish as a base and then apply gel, acrylic, or dip enhancements over it because it's not the same base. So it's like using, I can't even think of another analogy of like what could be similar. But basically, yeah, you can't use it that way. I'm like trying to think, what analogy could I share with you guys? It's okay. It just doesn't work like that. You don't have to worry about that now. So the next base coat we're going to talk about this is one of my absolute favorite base coats, actually. And this is our Concealing base coat. So you can see that it has a kind of pinkish tone to it, pinkish purplish tone. So the reason it has this tone, and I will show you what it looks like. So this is one thin coat over a white nail tip. So this is what the nail tip looked like before. So it was like a white kind of natural look, since our actual nail beds are not clear, obviously. They have a little color to it. So this is what it looks like with a very thick coat, and this is what it looks like with a very thin coat. On your natural nail, it would probably look more like this if you're doing a thin coat. So the reason why we are showing you this and why we want to explain how amazing this base coat is because if you use a lot of nail polish and you paint your nails all the time, I'm sure some of you have experienced staining. No one loves staining. Or maybe, I don't know, you were doing something, you're cooking. Sometimes when I cook, especially if you're cooking with turmeric, which has a yellow tint to it, sometimes it can stain the nails. That's why turmeric is actually used for clothing dyes sometimes. So the Concealing base coat, let me just open this up for you guys. So you can see the concealing base coat has this purplish pink tinge to it, and it actually cancels out yellowing, which is phenomenal. I was trying to look for like a yellowed nail tip that I could show you guys of what George, shh. My puppy's so talkative today. He wants to say hello. Hey. Shh. Excuse me for one moment. He was so mad that I wasn't letting him join our live. Anyways, so what I was saying about this base coat is the fact that if you have staining or yellow nails, this base coat is going to be your best friend. It cancels out any yellowing, which is fantastic. If you're someone who's a swatcher and you frequently experience yellowing nails, or you know your nails just get yellow from cooking, whatever the case is, clothing, whatever it is, this top coat or this base coat is your best friend. And as you can see, you can use this also for a negative space manicure. I love, love, love the fact that if your nails maybe they don't look the happiest, this one coat of this will help give your nails that healthy, natural glow. And again, this base coat is formulated to work on all skin tones. So if you're purple, green, orange, it doesn't matter. This base coat will work for you. It doesn't, I want to be clear also, it doesn't like remove your yellowing. So for example, if you put it on and then take it off a couple of days later, you know, of course you will still have the staining. It's kind of hard to fix that. But, you know, without just taking time to like let it grow out, etc. natural ways. But this will temporarily hide the yellowing. So as long as you have this on, you cannot see the yellowing, and that is amazing. For a lot of times when we do like negative space manicures, you guys have seen it in my Mani by Me manicures, all those different things. I actually use this base coat first for a negative space manicure, and then I'll go in and do the art. I don't just use a clear base coat. Again, it just helps hide. One, it helps hide the free edge of the nail, which is also a nice factor. And two, it just helps give the nails a really nice, healthy glow, so that way they look really lush, great in photos. So if you're ever wondering, how does she get that like pretty natural look? That's how. The third base coat is going to be our brightening base coat. So this is great for people who maybe they want to have more of a peachy undertone. Some people prefer to have a more peachy undertone like this instead of having a colder pink undertone like this. So this helps to, again, brighten the nails. And this is also a great option for those of you who love doing negative space manicures but hate showing your free edge. You can create a beautiful, beautiful, like neutral or naked base using the brightening base and the concealing base. So these two are going to be your best friends for negative space manicures because it just gives you that really pretty glow. Another cool thing that I want to show you about these two base coats. I don't know if you guys have these or if you've ever thought about using it this way. Actually, I'm going to show you with this nail tip since I already applied one coat. So if you want, you can actually do a pretty ombre with this. And I have done an ombre with this base coat before. And it's super fun. Because it has a semi-sheer finish, you just take a little bit like this. And then you just go ahead and start doing this on the nail. So I'm going to go down like maybe halfway through. They're just quick strokes. I'm not dipping it inside the bottle. and then you'd go ahead and let it dry for a little bit. As you can see, the application is not perfect. It's completely fine. It doesn't have to be smooth. You can even see the fact that it's all textured over here. That's okay, because once you apply your top coat and finish with your art, no one's going to be able to tell that you've got a little texture going on. It all just smooths out with the top coat. But when you do this technique, make sure that you, like, for example, you don't just work on one nail. You go to the next nail, do all your coats, and then come back because it needs time to dry. If I tried to go at it right now, it might actually end up taking off some of the polish or causing like dings in the polish, which is very, very irritating. So it's already pretty much dry. I can do the touch test, no problems. So then you're going to go ahead and just grab a little more like this and go ahead and just do half the amount, or like if you're wondering where to stop or go, let me explain this after I apply. Okay, let me show you now. So the first pass, we went down about half the nail. For the second pass, we're going half of that. And then for the third pass, it would technically be half of that. Or if you want to try and get like a stronger effect, you can kind of do more if you want. But I'm just trying to show you guys a subtle, easy ombre that you can do. So this is another great option for our concealing base coat. Again, you can do this also with our brightening base coat, but I can't help it. I'm a sucker for our concealing base coat. So let me just apply. I think I'm going to do one more pass on this. Voila. Now, look at that. Once I apply the top coat, it's going to be a very, very pretty, seamless looking gradient. Christine asked, can we stamp over these polishes? Absolutely. Absolutely, we can stamp over these polishes. So that's the great thing about our base coats. Again, they work just like any other polish. You can stamp on top of them. You can do whatever you want. You can apply powders, gels, glitters, etc. Also, everyone is, I see you guys are still stuck on gel. We will save those conversations for another time. I'll get back to you guys about that. But yeah. So you can see here we have a very pretty ombre, and now I'm just going to apply a top coat so you guys can see what it looks like. So for example, if you're quick on time and you just want something that's clean, professional, maybe you have a job interview, whatever the case is, this is a great option. And I did it all with just a base coat. Look at that. Beautiful, flawless ombre. Isn't that amazing? So pretty. See, you guys are already jumping the gun a little bit on some of the things that I'm talking about. So now, since everyone's already in the comments discussing all the things that they love, let's talk about sticky base coat. This is probably one of our customers' #1 favorites. As you guys all know, I already see many comments discussing the sticky base coat before I even got to it. So the sticky base coat, why do we call it sticky base coat? It's because it works for reverse stamping, it works for powders, it works for foils, it works for so many things, and it works as a regular base coat. So let me get my space set up before I venture into this and show you guys all the cool, fun things you can do with this. So with the sticky base coat, it stays sticky for about 30 seconds. So let's try and apply. Depending where you are and how thick your application is, I'd say the dry time is about 30 seconds to a minute. If your application is thinner, it's going to be closer to 30 seconds. If your application is thicker, it's probably going to be closer to a minute. So while that's going on, I am going to get my, I think I'm going to show you guys, I think I'm going to show you guys the demonstration and do in half-half. No, actually, I'll do the full thing for you guys. We're friends, so we'll go all into it. I'm going to apply another layer of base coat over this nail tip, just so you can see. And then I'll just put that on the side for later. Whoops. Okay. So, while that's going and drying, I'm going to get everything I need set up. This is our powder. It's called Topaz. And I'm just going to go ahead and use my stamper to apply some of the color. Okay, so you want to make sure that you completely cover your stamper with a nice layer of powder. Make sure there's not too much excess. And then I'm gonna go over here, touch it. Yep, it's good to go. Voila. And that is done. So, you're gonna notice something about this base coat. When you use this base coat and once it dries and becomes tacky, it doesn't feel sticky tacky. So if you're looking for like an obvious stickiness, that's not what you're gonna find. You're gonna notice that it feels, I mean, when I say ever so slightly, I mean like 10, like maybe 5–10% sticky, but that's enough for it to transfer the powder. So let me just check this. I think we're good to go. Some foil here. So, voila. Look at this. Whoops. I was able to do a foil transfer as well. Isn't that amazing? So, these are two things that you can do with our sticky stamping, or sticky base coat. I was gonna say sticky stamping station. So you can apply foils, you can apply powders. Now the very, very last thing you can do is take a plate here. I'm gonna just grab this nail tip because I think it is dry. And then grab your favorite plate, any design you want, and let's just go ahead and apply maybe just a little bit. Like, let's just pretend you just want to do a small individual design in the center. And let's do this, this cute little floral element. Actually, I'm gonna go for a little leaf. I think that little leaf looks so cute. Okay, so let's pretend that I reverse colored this or, you know, whatever. Maybe my stamp dried out. I was too slow. The AC's on, whatever the case is. Sometimes it just happens and you forget to transfer a design. That's when the sticky base coat comes in and voila, no problems. For those of you who are seasoned stampers, you know that if the amount of time I left that design on my stamper By now, it would have been way too difficult to transfer that just because the polish would have dried. You need to move quickly with stamping. In every single video, we always encourage you guys to move quickly. But if for some reason, you know, you're slow, something's in the way, or I don't know, you have to deal with something, sticky base coat is here to save the day. So you can apply it on just small spots if you want. You don't have to apply it to the whole nail. If you want to, of course you can, but if not, there are many, many ways you can use this. Even for the, let's see, even for the powder, like if I just wanted to do something like, you know, maybe I just want to paint, oh, whoops. Maybe I just want to paint the edge like this. You'd let that dry, and then you just go in with your powder or your foil and tap it out. So there are many different ways that you can use the sticky base coat. Now, the advantage to this sticky base coat is product compatibility is very, very important to ensure that products last long. There are other loopholes around it, which I kind of did mention, but it takes a lot of knowledge and a lot of understanding about what each product is, what things are in it, what goes together. It's a whole thing. There's a science behind these things. That's why we don't just recommend mixing any kind of items together. Sometimes things have negative chemical reactions. However, with sticky base coat, if you're doing polish art, this is a great option for you guys because before, in order to do some of these things, oh, whoops, see, this is what happens when I was too slow and I applied, you see how I applied too thick of a coat? So you need to be careful when you use any polish on top of polish. If you apply too thick of a coat, if you don't wait long enough, which I didn't, and you can see it here, it actually ended up removing some of the polish underneath when I pressed down on with the foil. So don't be like me, don't rush yourself, apply thin coats and take your time. But if things had worked out perfectly, I would have had a little foil design right here on the corner or tip. Unfortunately, that's how it goes sometimes. So this sticky base coat is great though if you're trying to do like polish art over polish. You have many, many, many uses. You can even do dry brush strokes with this. I mean, there's so many endless possibilities. So that's why I decided to leave the sticky base coat for last. And for those of you who already mentioned it, of course you can do reverse stamping and it works beautifully. But I hope you guys learned, you know, a good amount of information today on our base coats and when to use them. Again, all of these base coats can be used like a regular base coat if you don't want to necessarily use it for art, whatever the case is. But there are so many possibilities for other things too. And I hope that this live taught you guys some cool tricks. Let's kind of take a look at the comments and make sure. Lori's asking, can you use nail foil glue for powders? Absolutely, Lori, you definitely can. The only thing is sometimes, depending on your application with the nail foil glue, sometimes it can create like brush strokes, and sometimes that's not the look you want. Again, there's other times where you might want that look, but sometimes you want like a smooth look, then you would probably want to use a sticky base coat instead. Let's see. Someone said that they always use their sticky base coat because they're new to stamping. It's so perfect. Monica is 100% right. Chemistry matters. That's why we don't just mix any type of products together. Aaron asked, is there a trick to getting your scraper to pick up the extra stuff on the stamping head? Sometimes it won't come off using the scraper. There are a couple of lives on our YouTube channel that can help answer those questions, Erin. Can you stamp with a sticky base coat? No, you cannot. I have tried this many times. It doesn't work. For some reason, with clear polishes in general, so not just the sticky base coat, but I've tried it with top coats. I've tried it with many, many things that are clear, meaning have no color in them. And for some reason, something about the formula just doesn't work that way. I think You know, our Rainbow Splash collection, since that's a sheer tint, but it has color, I've never had any problems. But with like the sticky base coat, I've even tried it with like our top coat or a smudge-free top, you cannot stamp with them. Let's see, what other things did I miss? Can you use nail foil polish for powders? Kind of already answered that. If you guys have any other questions, please let me know. If I happen to miss it, please forgive me. We will be going back into the comment section later to answer all of your questions. Oh, and I believe Monica was saying something about the sticky, black sticky base coat or the black sticky polish. Yes, that can work for foils and powders, etc. But again, that's separate, different from this live. We can always talk about it, whoops, another time. Anyways, I hope you guys have an amazing week. And if you guys try any of these tricks, tips, or anything, please share it with us. Hashtag us, mention us, share it in the community. We love seeing your creations in our Facebook community. So please continue to share. We also learned so many cool hacks from you guys. And I'm really, really excited to see all the cool things you guys do with it. So thank you again for joining the live and have a good week. Bye.